know what I heard or so, chat? I heard that Concord devs are they're over there at, at Bungie or so, working on Marathon apparently. So why not? Let's take a look to see if it's true or not. I want to know if that's actually true. If this is actually true, this is going to be crazy. Let's get the information from Hero. Hey, he knows the information on us.
Bungie's got a new game set to release on September 23rd, 2025 called Marathon. And it's supposed to be this like co-op first-person shooter, extraction shooter sort of game. Players working together in what they're calling quote-unquote crews, which I believe go up to 3 people. So potentially you'll have like 2 teams of 3 going up against each other. And they define the gameplay loop as get in.
Don't get me wrong. The short film was very interesting. But the problem is, it's for a game that makes no sense. It's like, why are you doing this weird, heavy story lore thing for an extraction shooter? You know? Like, they're trying to be Hideo Kojima, trying to be super mysterious and stuff like that for this kind of a game, right? Like, I'm not throwing shade at the director, right? Who made the short, right? I'm mostly throwing shade or so at why are you like working this hard for this, right? Trying to be all mysterious and everything, right? But like, it's an extraction shooter. Why are you going this hard on an extraction shooter? I know. Why all that for an extraction shooter? I don't understand. Looks like a futuristic version of the finals. Well, this is supposed to be... Well, technically, this is supposed to be Apex Legends in the future, because apparently they literally stole pretty much a lot of the core mechanics from Apex, and then just put it into freaking an extraction shooter. So I'm just kind of like... So it basically has no identity. It has no identity because it stole from Apex Legends. And they literally said their game is called... This is what they said, apparently. This is what the people said when they went over to the playtest. Their game is so revolutionary, quotation marks, revolutionary, right? But you want to know something? You want to know what the revolutionary part of the game is? It doesn't come out when the game comes out. It comes out after the game comes out. So when the title update comes around for Marathon, right? You'll have this revolutionary part of the game. So you're basically spending $40 for an early access game, basically, right? That's unfinished, unpolished, right? It's in an alpha stage. It's not even in a beta stage. It's in an alpha stage. Let me remind you guys, chat. This is an alpha stage. They have 6 months to release this game. So, yeah.
Gather as much loot as you can and make it out alive. The reception for this game is already rather tempered at best, but many are saying it looks worse than that. For example, saying it looks really boring, really bland, and uninspired, etc, etc. Well, in a Reddit post from the other day, on Sunday, April 13th, a Marathon dev came out with a statement addressing the issues that people have in his own special way, which you'll see in a moment, while also mentioning that he is a dev who also worked on the one, the only, Concord.
Oh no. Oh no. Not Concord. Anything but Concord. Not Concord. All right, kids. Everybody, grab hold onto your seats. We're going back in time to Concord days.
Before we read that, let's get some more context on the public reception. Here are some of the top comments from the trailer that I was just playing. Comments reading, at the end of the marathon is layoffs. Hearing that there's a new Marathon game out and then finding out it's a team-based extraction shooter took me from such an elated high to such a depressing depth so fast that ancient Greeks are writing an epic poem about it. Art style has changed a lot since the first trailer. Back then, the teaser trailer embossed a gritty, surreal, and unforgiving feeling. An eerie one, to say the least. This trailer felt arcadey, plasticky, and casual. A very different feeling compared to the teaser trailer. This is quite conflicting, to be honest. And I love how the general vibe in the comments is that everyone's just really underwhelmed.
See, told you
Alright,
I
with that
can't miss
context,
the
let's hop over
Concord
to the
too.
Reddit post from the Marathon dev, who's also an ex-Concord dev. And I'll be joining you over there in VTuber mode. Hopefully you saw yesterday's video where I briefly mentioned what's going on with that.
Wait, he has a VTuber now? Oh shit, what the fuck? I didn't even know about this.
But super ultra quick TLDR, I'll be doing some videos in part with my VTuber model, maybe entirely with the VTuber model, or maybe not using the model at all. It kinda just depends, but the idea is it'll help me make more videos, get more content out there. And on top of that, it can also just help me get videos done more efficiently because, to be quite frank, it's less editing when I use the VTuber model. I noticed yesterday, like I got that video done way quicker than usual. Not that my videos are highly edited to begin with, I'm not saying that. But regardless, more efficiency is still a good thing. Okay, with that all said, we're over here on Reddit with the title, Former Firewalk/Concord Dev Talks Marathon. Yeah, you know it's gonna be good. Hey all, former Firewalk Studios dev here. I've been a longtime lurker for many years and rarely post to Reddit/any social in regards to what is going on with my life as a developer/artist. After reading the comments about Marathon being Concord 2.0 on Reddit, YouTube, and Twitch, I just wanted to share a little insight into what a 40-year-old man is feeling after dedicating a large portion of his life to making video games. I mean, I guess maybe, but like it sounds like what you really want to do is try and like make people like think it's not going to be Concord 2.0,
Right.
So for the past 17 years, I've been part of some great projects. But by the way, not exactly a compelling argument to be like, it's not Concord 2.0, we just have Concord devs working on this. Continuing though. For the past 17 years, I have been part of some great projects and worked with some of the most talented people who made me the dev I am today, Many players know about Concord and what happened with that project. Concord failed to inspire players, and the messages was heard loud and clear. It was gut-wrenching to see our project fail and be the laughingstock of many online. I have learned that failure is what drives me to succeed. No one feels as bad as the people who put their time on the line, hoping it will entertain the masses of gamers across the globe. Okay, pause.
Uh-huh.
Did they really think? This is kind of like a rhetorical question, but like, it's still hard to believe. I'm going to change the point, actually. It's not a rhetorical question. Here's the point. It's kind of hard to believe that any of the devs who worked on Concord ever genuinely thought like, oh yeah, everyone around the globe is going to love this. Like, maybe not everyone, but you know, gamers, masses of gamers around the globe are going to love this game. My point is, how tone deaf could these people be? It's like insane.
There were some people who like in the development team cannot even talk or like criticize because they would consider them as toxic. There was so much toxic positivity. Like it was already like some of the devs that were working on the game itself kind of like spoke out in secrecy or so, or kind of like around or so, or whatever. They said that there was too much toxic positivity. So if you try to criticize it, you'll be considered as, you know, as a bad person, basically. And that does exist. That actually does exist in this environment, unfortunately. But in my game studio in the future, if I own a game studio, that shit ain't happening. I'm gonna be like Gordon Ramsay in my fucking game studio. Why is this shit raw?
Not asking for pity or even sympathy, because after all, this is the name of the game. You win or lose.
Or like something like this crazy. Why aren't her tits bigger?
Can't expect to win them all.
Some of you probably smell blood in the water and probably want to roast me.
What are you? What are you?
I hope you don't.
I'm a stupid dev. That's right. Now make her tits bigger.
And see that people create these projects and work very hard to be the next
I would have
big
fun with my
thing.
studio, to be honest.
I commend them for taking a chance, trying something foreign to them that isn't proven or guaranteed to succeed. It takes a lot of courage. Okay, bro, so let's discuss this point right here where he's like, I hope you don't, and see that people create these projects and work very hard to be the next big thing. Why do so many developers like this, like specifically it's usually like AAA devs who work on a game like Concord.
Wait, don't make her tits bigger. That's objectifying. I'm a woman. I can do what I want. That's my character at the end of the day. If I want her tits to be bigger, I'll make her tits be bigger. Okay? Don't tell me what to do.
They end up trying to have this like toxic positivity stuff, which is something that also got exposed to Firewalk Studios, right? That was like a big point of contention, that they had this culture of toxic positivity. I believe was the quote.
Put in some helium in those tits.
It's like, oh, I hope no one says anything bad about our game. You know, we're people that work on this.
More.
How is that an actual like counterpoint of any
Star
merit?
Wars
like, hey, you're not
meme.
allowed to criticize this game, this AAA game, because you know people work on this. It's reminding me, it's giving me flashbacks, maybe like war flashbacks from a week ago of the voice acting situation.
It's okay. We'll just put a lolly in there. We'll be fine, you know.
With Genshin, where all these voice actors want to, or they feel entitled to like the public supporting their cause with the whole alleged strike that they're now calling a collective work refusal, right? It's like, oh, the internet should support us. The people, the fans of Genshin need to support us. We're voice actors. We deserve their support. And these people are like, oh, we're devs.
The voice
we
actor thing was pretty stupid in my personal opinion.
It just comes off so entitled. I don't know how they ever thought this is like an acceptable thing and like a good point to constantly be making over and over again, as if it's like some sort of gotcha against criticism. And of course,
it's called representing the big old titty community. That's the representation I represent.
Fallback plan is, oh, when we get criticism, let's just say it's like harassment. That's always one.
Oh, did I just expose how big my chest was? Whoops.
I like to use too. And we got this.
Belay that statement. You guys didn't hear anything, okay?
I think I read this already. My bad. Foreign to them that isn't proven nor guaranteed to succeed. It takes a lot of courage. Okay. TLDR. TLDR. I worked on Concord and did my best.
Whoops.
We came up short. That's an understatement. $200+ million loss. Game closes in like 2 weeks.
Don't worry about it.
It's like one of the most biggest failures in gaming. And hey guys, you know, we came up short, but we did our best. I mean, dude, if that's your best, what is like? Who would want you to work on another game? Yeah, that was our best work right there, guys. Here's now us working on Marathon. Don't forget to buy it. Like, okay, bro. We came up short. Please don't punish others for our mistake. We are all human beings. Oh my gosh, there we go again. We are all human beings who are trying to create something special. And
yeah, but whatever you create or so that's special or so isn't that good, you know? That's the reason why, you know? You try to create something that's your own original IP and nobody liked it. So maybe you should go back to the drawing board and see what you missed on the mark, you know? I'm just saying, you know?
Marathon is no different. Be kind and be cool, as video games are meant to be fun. How about stop acting like the internet police and just make a good game? You apparently have all these talented people working on it. You got Bungie's AAA money with you too. But hey, people...
Shut the fuck up. Yes, they do. They do exist, okay? All right?
We're saying this might be Concord 2.0. And dude had to come out and apparently expose himself to make this damage control post. Very interesting. Let's sort the comments by controversial and take a look at what some of the Redditors are downvoting.
All right, let's see. Let's find out.
At the top. But actually, first, I'll read this mod post. Though we can't ever 100% confirm anyone who comes to our subreddit, this account's user history appears genuine and lines up with this post description. I'm going to leave this post up despite the reports.
I might change back to the other seat because this seat, it feels like this seat is breaking apart already.
The outweighs any potential spam or off-topic content issues it provokes. Thank you for the unique insight, OP. It is immensely appreciated. See my follow-up comment. What's that? Addendum. Oh, is this the proof? People, when I said that we can't 100% confirm anyone comes to our subreddit, I didn't mean we hadn't done our due diligence. I meant that on the internet, one can never be absolutely certain. A 30-second glance at their user profile / history, a glance I did 17 hours ago immediately validated this user's backstory.
I need a new chair at the end of the day. My chair is old.
We can possibly provide
I might swap back to the other chair probably.
Please stop reporting this post and DMing me about this. Okay, I find it funny how
no, it's allergies.
This mod
I got terrible allergies.
Like, oh yes, this post is so uniquely insightful. Such a insightful post. It's like, bro, the glazing, it wasn't very insightful at all, really. I mean, it's hilarious to note that this guy and others may have, this guy and other Concord devs, ex-Concord devs, are now apparently working on Marathon. But like, aside from that, it's not a very insightful post at all. So
I wonder how they got into the job or so for Bungie. Do you think they lied on their resume and said, "Oh yeah, I'm a game developer, but I never worked on Concord"? You think that's probably what happened, chat?
No, just seems like some unnecessary.
I would probably lie on my resume or something, you know.
Most downvoted, most controversial responses.
Oh right, I forgot that Bungie is owned by Sony. Oh, do you think they transfer them over? Do you think they gave them an opportunity or so to transfer them over into other studios? That could actually be. Now I'm kind of seeing it actually.
Those are going to be pretty interesting, I'm sure. To clarify what I mean, by the way, sort by controversial on Reddit. That's a thing. I think it means like posts that are getting lots of upvotes and downvotes. There's like an upvote downvote battle going on or something. Sorry, but bland, homogenized paint-by-number games like Concord deserve to fail. Devs need to be reminded that AAA games exist to be sold as products. If the first reaction to the game is a resounding meh, then rather than taking it as an insult or ignoring it, maybe ask why. then put in the work to understand the reason why people are not responding to it and try to course correct before it is too late. Ignoring the issues, making self-pity posts, and hoping for the best is going to end just like it ended for Concord and Firewalk.
True.
You might not want to hear it, and this might...
I think they shut down Concord and moved those devs to whatever live service they're doing. You know what? You actually might be right on that, actually, to be honest. Because they closed down the studio, right? So that's like one bill less to pay or so. But then they moved those specific I assume they moved some of the devs. Probably agreed to move, and probably some didn't. Probably some of them failed to bother. You know, they probably quit. You know, or stopped doing video game stuff. You know, because they couldn't handle the criticism.
But it is the truth and needs to be said. The main problem with AAA games these days is that they all try to copy-paste from each other because they are ballooning their budgets on useless tech that no one asked for. That also has the side effect of being so performance expensive that it locks out half your potential user base. Example, ray tracing. This is very performance impacting, barely makes a difference visually, and making it mandatory locks many people with older PCs out of being a potential customer. No one cares about Concord. The sales prove that. Concord is just a cautionary tale that other devs should learn from. It should be an example of what not to do. And this person gets -2 downvotes. So, quoting the OP and saying, I commend them for taking a chance, trying something foreign to them that isn't proven nor guaranteed to succeed. It takes a lot of courage. Taking a chance with what? With making another bog standard live service shooter with seemingly no campaign, going with a bog standard acid color palette, boldly ripping off another game in the genre without an ounce of originality. Oh, I know, they took a chance with ripping off their own old IP for name recognition, while having seemingly nothing to do with it. So bold, so proud. With all due respect to the work you did on Concord, and I did assume you did your best, but that game died because it was absolutely creatively bankrupt. The game didn't have a single original thought put into it. Marathon also looks creatively bankrupt. I'll be happy if I turn out to be wrong on that, but boy will I celebrate if it brings the modern Bungie down. Conversely though, you've got this person who says, having played Concord for a good 30 hours, I enjoyed it. Wow, that's like 20% of Concord's life right there. Good job. The person really got some hours in while he could. But anyways, look at this. We've got a response where the OP responds, says, they're really bringing out the heavy hitters for damage control, huh? The OP's like, my opinions are my own, and this is how I feel. Take it or leave it. And the response that another user gives the OP, as well as this comment right below it, bring up the point that I was basically making earlier about the lack of insight, because that moderator was like, wow, this is so insightful. So these comments read, people will leave it. You completely failed to address all the problems with these games, and you're basically just begging for people to play your terrible game because you tried hard. You got hundreds of millions of dollars and years of time, and you could not come up with something more interesting than another generic shooter, and you made it visually repulsive because of some weird man-hating ideological reasons too. And this one saying, you didn't talk much about Marathon there, pal. 3 responses. Let's see this. Oh, the OP. The OP responds, says, I didn't need to. Search all the other threads on Reddit calling Marathon as Concord 2.0. I'm not your pal, guy. What the frick?
I'm not your guy, pal.
Antagonizing potential
They
customers.
should have said that, to be honest.
Before, because it is Concord 2.0. No need to talk about Marathon. And another OP responds to this one right around here. There we go.
Yeah.
Interesting time and place to come post this. The OP says, yeah, I sat by and watched the comments roll in while working at Firewalk. The comments are living rent-free, man. He's never going to forget what happened. The comments that people made about Concord.
Wasn't even the point of posting this, to be honest. Like, what is the point of this?
He says that this is professional.
It's allergy season. That's why
I'm not going to sit idle anymore. Oh, wow.
That's why I need
he's
an
not
air
going to sit
purifier.
idle anymore, guys. He made this Reddit post. Watch out. We've got another OP dev response. First, the comment reading. I'm sorry, what's the point of this post? If you're trying to tell people not to be mean, then that's going to make things even worse.
That's true.
The OP says, to possibly illustrate that devs are human beings. Yeah, no one ever thought that before. Like,
yeah, but we're criticizing how you guys handled the game or so for Concord, you know.
Like, what the frig? Why you keep saying this over and over
your
again,
character
man?
your character creation and everything, you know. They just weren't good, you know.
Making a game for enjoyment and yeah, okay, enjoyment, huh? So you're working for free? Is that what's going on here? You're just not getting paid at your big AAA company. It's all for enjoyment, you know. You should feel bad for us and support us, and possibly resonate with others' ability to have compassion and empathy. The gaslighting is real, bro. The gaslighting is real. This person says it's like telling a bully to have sympathy. I think this person's the bully, if anything. I don't think people responding to these terrible games are the bullies. I think the corpos are the bullies, to be quite frank. They made a terrible game, Concord, and want to charge people $40 for it, and then when the game flops,
Well, I gotta do
and people don't want to waste
reaction
their money
stuff,
on the
so
game, suddenly
that's fine.
they're the problem, they're the bullies. Like, no, dude, that's ridiculous. It's not how that works. These AAA corpos constantly bash gamers whenever they get a chance, then when their games flop, they play victim, and it's all extremely manipulative. Let's go to this comment. This might be the last one to take a look at, unless there's another interesting dev response. Can we stop pretending that devs making the most generic games imaginable are somehow bold and brave? No other job gets a free pass like game devs whenever something bombs or receives criticism.
That's true.
I feel like they're being baked.
At the end of the day, the devs are trying to sell us a product. If their product is shit, we aren't obligated to buy it because we feel bad for the devs. Yeah. I'm like, the whole point of you selling a product is because you're trying to sell something. And if the product is shit, well, you go back to the drawing board and you make a new one, but you make it better and learn from what you did from your mistakes from the first one, and you make it better on the second one. What happened to that idea? What happened to that ideology? What happened to that shit? I remember that in the past or so, a long time ago or so, like, you know, I remember a couple people who were like inventing stuff or so, right? If the first invention didn't work out, you work on the second invention, you know, but make it better and improve on what you learned from the last one and the criticism and everything. I don't understand. Where the fuck did that disappear off to? Why are you guys becoming such a soft pansies or so about it?
Baby to this point. So tired of this. All right. So yeah, those were some of the comments sorted by controversial and the devs' responses to those comments. Let me know what you think
Welcome
about
home,
that stuff
Hazu.
as well as the OP itself. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed my coverage, and if you
Yeah, so far it's like the devs are like, please feel sorry for us. We're trying really hard to make something new and fresh and you know and whatnot. Blah blah blah. You know. This is what Larian said. Is Baldur's Gate failed? They had other plans, something to work on and try and succeed still. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like if it doesn't land on the like, you know, on the mark or so the first time, you try again, you know. If you don't succeed, you try again. What happened to that quote, you know? Now it's just like, oh, we're trying, you have to feel sorry for us, you know. Or like some of the devs would be like, you have to buy the game for us, you know. You have to, you know, you got to support us, you know. It doesn't help if they don't listen to the people they are trying to sell the stuff to. Like, you're selling this video game to gamers, okay? And what do gamers want mostly? They want really cool games, right? Badass main characters. Sometimes they'll have a badass main dude, right? Take your cry. You have a hot, sexy woman in the game, you know? Some of them will have a great story. Some people want good story, or they want really good art style, or they want really good music, you know? But like Concord, the art style is pretty bland. The gameplay looks very bland. The story, there's no existence of a story. The music is, well, I don't know. It's there somewhere, somewhere in there. So the only chance to succeed is to try. Otherwise, your failure rate is 100%. Even then, it's like, it's part of human life or so, you know. You're not always going to succeed every single time, you know. You're gonna fumble a little bit here and there. That's just the way of life, you know. I don't understand why you humans take everything so like such pridefulness on everything, you know. I just don't understand. I'm like, it's okay to fail, you know. It's okay to be like, yeah, I know we failed on our, you know, we failed on Concord, you know. We didn't hit the marker, so we tried at least, you know. But who knows? Maybe our next game will be better. We'll take, you know, we'll learn what we learned from here and make it better, you know. We want more non-binary and gender identity and pronouns. Man, get the fuck out of here. And the hell is out of here. All my characters have no genders. Everyone needs to look like a shapeless blob. You could just put in a Ditto or so, you know, from Pokemon, you know. I think that'll probably fit the definition for it. But yeah, it's just like, I don't understand, you know. I just don't understand where like people have deteriorated or so and became so prideful in their, like, very, very super prideful. The mark of a master isn't succession of success. It's a multitude of failures to get there. Yeah, of course. Because you learn from those, from those failures, Like, nobody's perfect in this dimension. Nobody is perfect. If everyone was perfect in this dimension, you guys would be living in a utopia world, But that doesn't exist, That is non-existent. That is an unachievable thing, Everybody failed at something in life. It's just life. That's just how it is. You just learn from it and you grow and you just become a better person, right? But so far these people don't want to learn from their past mistakes, and they think what they know is right, or they think it's good, but it's not good though. So the art style is not enjoyable. I don't like the art style in freaking Marathon, of course, I'm perfect, my mom told me. Okay, buddy. But yeah, overall, I don't know. Overall, personally, for Marathon specifically, I feel like it's not gonna do well, in my personal opinion. So, but that's just my personal opinion. I don't know what everyone else thinks about Marathon personally. If you like Marathon, hey man, I guess you like lukewarm water. I guess Hey, more power to you at the end of the day. I'm just gonna go play something that's more enjoyable. Like Atelier Yumiya, or like a dragon, like a dragon pirate Yakuza. And yeah, you do you. Hey man, maybe in the future when I open up my game studio, we'll probably make ourselves a bit more very interesting game for you guys, at least, But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future, But anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. People can let me know what they think about it. I personally don't agree what the dev did or so. Number one, you should not be going on social media. That's number one, all right? And like share your feelings or so, about it, because there's going to be people who are going to criticize and everything like that, right? But if you can handle the criticism, you should be fine. But this person doesn't handle the criticism. They're kind of like, they're kind of like, you guys should feel sorry for us. And I'm like, no, we really shouldn't. You're making a product at the end of the day, Hey, Mr. Fabulous. Hey. The fact that Marathon is an extraction shooter tells me that its short film was to attract as many whales as possible. I'm just speculating though. I wouldn't be surprised. Remember, right? Because Concord had these like, super high, definition graphic or so cutscenes, right? These like cutscenes that they did or so for like the updates that they did specifically. So they did, they did cinematic cutscenes. I bet you that's what they're gonna do with not with Concord. My bad. I mean, Marathon. That's what they're gonna do for Marathon. They're gonna do like these cinematic storytelling cutscenes or so, but makes zero sense for a fucking extraction shooter. It's an extraction shooter. I don't mind if you leave lore and stuff like that. Little tidbits of lore in the video game or so, right? And then you got lore seekers, looking around and piecing together, and then they make a YouTube video out of it. That's fine. That's a-okay. But the problem is like they're trying to like tell a story here, even though there's no story in this game, and it's just an extraction shooter, and the only story that's going to be in this game is you go look for loot, you get shot, you die, you respawn, and you rinse and repeat. That's the lore that I know about extraction shooters. Yeah. They talked about a battle pass for this story. What? Wait, what do you mean? There's gonna be a story in the battle pass? Eh? Interesting. Okay, whatever. I don't think this game is going to succeed, in my personal opinion. It's not gonna make its money in return, I can tell you that much. To be fair to the game, I hope it succeeds. I want every game to be good and successful. Only time will tell. Well, if you wanted every game to succeed or so, you guys would be living in a utopia. Well, at this point, I'm starting to look at things differently. What do you mean? What are you looking at things differently? Let me know. Let me know your insight. Let me know. Battle Pass is a must. Yeah, Battle Passes are a consistent thing though now these days. So, but like they're charging money for the game, right? It's not free to play. You got in-game cosmetics, and then on top of that, you have a Battle Pass as well. And they said they're not going to do any wacky or crazy skins or anything like that, right? For Marathon. They say they want to stay, you know, in the lore or in the game, you know, in the game lore itself when it comes to skins. So you're not going to see anything crazy wacky. You're not going to see like a unicorn, you know, a unicorn skin coming out or anything like that. So I call BS. Well, we don't know. Give it about like maybe like, who knows, maybe like 1 patch or 2 patches or so. Maybe they'll start doing that. All of this because of a $2 horse. Yep. We're here because of a $2 horse. Back when Bethesda charged that, so. They're putting in skins, but my question is if they're gonna do like the wacky crazy skins. That's the question to ask, you know? Like I'd be curious if they're gonna do like a steampunk skin, you know? It's fine to do like steampunk, like themes, right? Like a steampunk skin or like modern human skin or something like that, you know, because this is a marathon game, right? It's supposed to be like robots or stuff like that. You can do like normal stuff or like, you know, or anything like, you know, anything like in that specific universe, you know. Maybe they can do a maybe they can do like a Destiny skin over, you know. They could probably bring like Destiny armors or stuff like that, you know. The Bethesda horse and the Warcraft horse is always the horse. It's always the horse, to be honest. But yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. Yeah, there's just like, you know, my personal opinion about this game is like, I'm not gonna play it. That's number 1, right? I don't like extraction shooters. That's number 2 as well. I don't like extraction shooters to begin with. It's not my type of genre. I know the genre is pretty niche and they're already charging money. Like they're charging money for this specific niche genre. So they're already alienating, you know, most of the player base. And also this revolutionary thing or so about their game, you know, it doesn't come in until later. UK laws are trying to change microtransactions because of the horse game too. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I watched that video or so. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Well, my comment section can tell me if they're gonna try out the game or not. You know, I doubt it though because I know most of my comment sections are pretty smart. They're smart individuals. I like them a lot. They're smart people. They know not to waste their money on this shit. I'm not even gonna waste my money on this shit. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And peace.